I'm going to start by introducing myself. I'm Kelly Moyer, and many of you know me as Emma's mom, also the co-founder of DTDS Foundation. We started the process of creating a patient advocacy group for DTS at the request of researchers and doctors just last year. So it's very exciting to be able to launch the DTDS data collection program already. As many of you know, there are scientists working on gene therapy for DTDS, and by partnering with RareX for the data collection program, we will be able to get our de-identified data into the hands of researchers as well as biopharma partners worldwide working for a cure. Caitlin from RareX is here to tell us more about how easy it is to enroll in the data collection program and why it is important that we all enroll and complete the appropriate surveys as soon as we can.
Thank you, Kelly. Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin, and I am with RareX. Welcome to your DTDS data collection platform. What is RareX? RareX is a program of global genes that was created to accelerate rare disease research, treatments, and cures by removing barriers for data collection and sharing. RareX is a platform to collect, connect, and share data. What RareX is not is a replacement for any current research or clinician-sponsored patient registry. Why did your organization choose RareX? RareX is a global data collection platform. It's patient-owned and managed. Your organization will not manage it. It is your data collection program. There is no cost to patients, organizations, or researchers to input or collect data on this platform. It's structuredized, standardized surveys, and all of the governance is handled by RareX. We are going to be streamlining researcher access to this data by de-identified data being made available on the Federated Data Access platform. It will be speeding up research and drug development and the ability to connect to existing data sources. What is the benefit of this data collection platform for you as a parent, caregiver, or family? Collecting data on all systems of the body will allow a better understanding of your disease. Summary data will be returned to your community so you can compare your symptoms to others with the same disease. There is the chance to participate in clinical trials through this data collection program. There is ability to update and change any of your symptoms at any time. This is not a one-stop, enter your data one time. It's a continual data collection program. We will be reaching more researchers worldwide, and you have the ability to manage who uses your data. How the RareX data collection program works is your patient community, the DTDS Foundation, has come to RareX, and through that, we have created a community page. Through the community page, that is your front door to this data collection program, where you will then have access to surveys that you will answer based on your symptoms. And all of that data will then be made available to researchers through RareX. So what you need to get started: an email address to create a password, an approved browser, so Google Chrome, Apple Safari, or Microsoft Edge. A lot of patients in other countries outside of the US tend to have Internet Explorer, but we highly encourage you to use one of these 3 browsers for the best user experience. What you don't need to get started is a lot of time or to finish it all at once. We know this can be extremely overwhelming for families, and we just want you to know that you don't have to do it all at once. You can easily begin and come back to your surveys at any time. So the patient journey through the data collection portal. So you come in through your patient community, the DTDS Foundation. Through that, we have a community page that welcomes you. It goes through the privacy policy and terms of use, and then you get started. You create your user ID, and you will be sent a verification email to let you create your own password and start beginning your registration. Through that, you will then complete your patient consent, your data sharing preferences survey, and then all of your appropriate surveys based on your symptoms. So how to find the link to your data collection program is through your DTDS Foundation website. If you look over here, there's a tab at the top called Families, and then Data Collection Program. They will take you to this page here, and you will be able to get a link to your community page that looks like this. So this is your community page on RareX, and this is your front door to the data collection platform. So when you first time logging into the data collection platform, you will use this red button here to start your journey. At any time after you have enrolled, you can come back anytime, and you can use this blue one to just log back in. Here is the link to your data collection platform. At the bottom of your community page, there is an FAQ for frequently asked questions. These are able to be translated into the following diseases, but at this time, the data collection platform is only available in English. Translations will be coming soon, and we will let your community know once those are available. So when you click the Enroll Now on your community page, you will get this request access. You will fill out your information here to then be given the link to create your password. If you are a caregiver that could be a carrier for your disease, you will want to enroll as both a caregiver and a patient. Here you can check the boxes if you're a patient participant or a caregiver, and you can check more than one at the same time. Once you have filled out that page, you will receive this email from RareX to create your password. If you haven't received this email within a few minutes, please check your spam or junk folder, as sometimes they go. This email will end up there. So once you have received that email, you will create your password, and you will need to send a verification code for a multi-factor enrollment. Once that is completed, you can access the privacy policy and terms of use for the data collection platform. Once you are logged into the platform, the first thing that you are going to have to agree to is the Matrix terms of use. Matrix is the technology that we host our data collection platform on. And this is a lot of it's a legal document talking about how the data is stored. So you are free to read it and download it. But once you read it, you will select the accept button at the bottom. Next, you will go through the 8 pages of informed consent. Each section has a learn more for more of a detailed answer. There's 8 pages of detailed Q&A, and it's there to ensure you have a full understanding of what this data collection platform is. There's a few questions for you to answer on the informed consent. One is if you want to take part, for why you're taking part in this data collection platform. And then the next is if you want RareX to contact you to follow up on research surveys or invitations to take part in studies. Sometimes researchers reach out to RareX about clinical trials or follow up based off of data that they've seen in our system. And by selecting yes, we are able to contact you to let you know what these invitations from researchers might be. This next question is if you would like to be a part of a clinical trial or be contacted for that. Yes would mean you would like to, no, you would not like to be contacted. At the end of the informed consent, you will need to sign it. If you are a caregiver of a patient, be sure to provide your child's information in the correct places. So here you can see there's the child's legal name and everything. And then if you have a second or additional child that you are putting in, you can do that at the bottom. Next, you will move to the general information. So this is demographics. We collect demographics on both caregivers and patients. Here you will continue filling out your information based off of demographics. And then here is super important what your rare disease is. On the dropdown, you will see one for DTDS on there. Please be sure to select that so your data is all collected with your entire community's data. Next, moving to the data sharing preference agreement, you choose what type of research you would like your data to be made available to. By selecting general research, your data will reach the most amount of researchers. This is what we highly recommend. It's totally up to you what you select, but general research will provide your data to the most amount of researchers. The second option here is just specifically health, medical, and biomedical research. There's optional restrictions for who you would like to share your data with when it comes to research. So right here, if you would like, you may choose to further limit your data access, research solely for non-commercial purposes, and then only research that has been approved by the Institutional Review Board. Continuing through the data sharing preference agreement, if you know if there are any biological samples that you have given for research purposes, this is where you would specify that. And also if you are interested in collecting any biological samples for research, such as saliva, spit, blood, bodily fluids, etc., you will be contacted when that option is available by selecting yes, you are saying you are interested in that collection. Medical records are extremely important when it comes to data collection. If you are interested in having your medical records collected to the data you provide on RareX, select yes. Once that option is available, we will be reaching out to those that have answered yes to this question. We also know that many families have participated in other studies in data collection. So if you are interested in having that data connected to your data on RareX, you would select yes. This is where you are going to agree to what type of information you would like shared with your community, so the DTDS Foundation. Here, if you would like to share your contact information with your group, that would just be your name and email only, you would select yes. If you would like your data to be summarized on the DCP data dashboard, you would select yes here. So once you have gone through and finished all of that, you will be enrolled as a caregiver, and you will see right up here in the top left, it says that Brittany is a caregiver. So then to add your patient, if that is your child, then you would click add patient here. And then to open all of the surveys, you will click on this black button here that is circled by the red dot. Adding the patient to your dashboard here. So that is the same as the last slide. So making sure you're adding a patient, not just answering the surveys as a caregiver. To view which, if you are in a caregiver or a patient survey, right up here at the top. So it says Marilyn is the caregiver, but she is viewing Macy's. So Macy is the patient. So all of the surveys relate back to Macy. Once you've completed all of the consent forms, the first survey you are going to want to fill out is the health and development survey. Health and development is head to toe. Any question about any type of symptom you would have will be asked in that. For every answer you say yes or unsure to, that will then trigger level 2 surveys that go into more detail about your symptoms. Health and development comes first, even though it is listed second. We encourage you to do that first, just because that triggers all of the level 2 surveys. The next thing we would like you to fill out is the diagnosis survey. This is where you will go into extreme detail about all of the information about your diagnosis. Over to the side here, it gives you an estimate of time to complete each survey. These are very generous. I'd say it's probably 10 minutes shorter than what these are estimating. So here's what the health and development survey will look like. So have you had issues with your head, face, or neck? And it will go into more detail asking more specific questions. And if you say no, then you will not receive a level 2 survey that has to relate to head, face, or neck. If you've had issues with eyes or vision, you say yes, or unsure, this will trigger your level 2 surveys if they are available. Up in the right-hand corner, there is a red X. You can click on this X at any time and it will save your work, as well as you are able to exit the survey. Next, when going through the health and development survey, it is going to ask if you have a genetic test report. If the answer is yes, please select yes, and then answer why, what the reason for your genetic testing is. And then if you have a genetic report, you are able to upload that and select the yes button here. When uploading your genetic test report, you will go to your dashboard. So you will exit the survey and go to your main dashboard. On the left-hand side, there is a Documents tab. You will select that, and then you will click Upload. You are able to upload a PDF version of that report, and then you will need to select the tag as genetic test. Once you have done that, you will click Save. And then once that document is fully uploaded, you will be able to see it listed under your Documents tab here. So once you've completed the health and development survey, all of those level 2 surveys that I mentioned, when you answer yes or unsure to any of the questions, will show up here. So if you said yes to having hearing issues, then this is where that survey will show up. Same with eyes, vision, any type of symptoms you might have that you selected yes to. These are where the level 2 surveys will show up, and they will go into greater detail on those symptoms. So there is a level 2 section here that kind of gives an example of a deeper dive into symptoms. So you are always able to provide additional text in each survey at the bottom. And we just ask that you do not use your participant's name. So if you're filling it in for your child, please don't use your child's name or any other identifiers when filling in that free text area. Here's a sample of what level 2 surveys will look like. So it will go into more detail. And so, do you see this symptom? If so, you select yes. If you are supposed to put what age the symptom first appeared at, and then the age of diagnosis. It is okay if you are unsure about any of these answers. There is a yes, no, or an unsure option. Here is where you're able to add additional information. So if there's additional issues that are not listed, please describe down here. And that is where we ask that for you to not put your child or your patient's name. Next on the survey list, there is high priority data that many researchers have reached out asking specifically for these surveys. You will choose what seems most appropriate for your family. All of these are optional. And if an individual has difficulty communicating, the quality of life survey will be extremely applicable. And these are all brand new surveys, so we are happy to have your feedback. And on the last slide, we will have an email address that if you have any feedback on these new slides or these new surveys, we would love to hear it. This is the patient-reported measures section, another highly requested survey group by researchers. They have very odd titles. Some may be applicable and some might not be appropriate for you. You will just have to go in through, and once you start answering questions, if you're like, this does not apply to me, you do not have to continue answering. And just like before, these are all brand new surveys. So if you have feedback, we would love to hear it. We have 2 new sleep surgery surveys that have been added. The first is Children's Sleep Habits Questionnaire. They go into details asking specifically what time your child goes to bed, what time they wake, how many times do they get up throughout the night. And then the other one is the Sleep Questionnaire for Children with Severe Psychomotor Impairment, also known as the SNAKE survey. These will all show up in your level 2 surveys on your dashboard once you have completed the health and development survey. Another survey that was highly recommended from researchers is the Vineland. Vineland is a very extensive survey. and you do not have to complete it in one sitting. It will take a very long time to complete, but we just ask that once you start it, you come back and finish it within 30 days of starting. After those 30 days, the survey, you will have to restart it. It will erase all of your data just from that survey if you come back to it after the 30 days. So once you've completed any or all surveys on your dashboard, you will go over to the completed tab to see which surveys you have completed. Over on the right-hand side, there are the 3 dots where you can view, edit, and email your surveys. We found that many patients like to print out their surveys and take them into their doctor's offices to help advocate. You are also able to edit your surveys at any time. So if a new survey does or a new symptoms does come up, please go back in and update your surveys. If you have any questions or technical issues, we would love for you to reach out to our RareX support at rarexsupport@globalgenes.org. And if you can please CC Kelly from the DTDS Foundation. We have support that is there 24/7 and can help you with any questions you may have. Thank you. And if anyone has any questions, I am happy to answer.
Thank you, Caitlin.